So this is the first webinar or a guidance session towards medical PG in Austria. Uh, in recent times, we have seen that Germany has become more and more competitive. It's requiring licensing from study country as well as home country, and lots of people are looking for options. And for that reason, we have tried to look for other options as well, which we could offer to candidates, and we have come across Austria. What in your step it will be that you will complete language and till B2 is compulsory before applying, and then you will contact the medical council over there. So Erste Kammer, the österreichische Erste Kammer will contact, because from there you need a letter which says that for you nostrification process is required. Nostrification is a process like in Germany we have Anerkennung process. It's similar to that. There you have to apply with all your documents with translated and attested copies. They go through it. They take like few months for that, and then they get back to you to say that if it is equivalent or not equivalent. Okay, so most of the cases it will be not equivalent. That you have to know from like right at the beginning. Along with that, you have to go for an exam. Okay, so the two exams basically. One exam is the Stichproben test. Stichproben test in German, in English, if you say Stichproben means random test, but it is not random at all. A Stichproben test is mandatory for all non-EU FMGs or non-EU doctors, where they ask you, there's an online exam, like standard computerized exam, where they have around 200 to 50 questions and includes 10 clinical subjects, and that you have to pass. 60% is the passing rate, you have to pass that exam. So Stichproben test. Along with that, there's another test called the Fachsprachprüfung. Like we have in Germany, there's Fachsprachprüfung in Austria also. And there, they test you at the level of C1. Okay. So once you have these tests and the process that will complete your nostrification process. Okay. So once you have completed your nostrification process, then you can apply to hospitals. So because this, see, you have to understand like this, contacted first the licensing authority, that is the Erste Kammer. Erste Kammer told you you need nostrification. Then with that letter and other documents and everything, you apply to one of the medical universities in Austria. Three universities, one in Vienna, one in Innsbruck, and I think one is in Salzburg, I think. I have to see. So there are three universities, and one of the three you have to choose. You have to apply to only one. Okay, you cannot apply to multiple of them. You have to apply to one university, and that university will continue the process of nostrification, which I just explained to you. After the nostrification is done, they will again, then you have to go back to the state medical licensing authority and tell them that, look, my nostrification is complete. So now I can register for the list, like a Erste list over there, the doctor's list. So they will add you in the doctor's list. They will grant you Dr. Med Univ degree. And that way you can now work as a doctor in Austria. So this process can take around 12 to 18 months in total, okay, to do everything. Once you are registered in the medical list over there, then you have to search for jobs like we do in Germany also. You apply to through the web, the job portals, you apply through individual hospitals, head of the departments, like that you will do there also. And then you will find a job there. So there is no concept of Berufserlaubnis we have here. We have to get final nostrification done, get registered, find a job. That is what it is in Austria. This we have already discussed that the process for third country medical graduates differs significantly from European Union graduates. And this difference is very important to understand. The key regulatory bodies and initial requirements. The key body here is the Austrian Medical Chamber, the Österreichische Erste Kammer, the ÖEK, ÖEK would call it. Okay. What is its role? Its role is for professional recognition, maintains the official Austrian list of medical doctors, and oversees all physician registrations nationwide. Training oversight, responsible for all postgraduate medical training programs and specialty certification processes. German language examination administers the mandatory subject-specific German language proficiency test for the medical professional. This is the Fachsprachprüfung that we have talked about. The Fachsprachprüfung is conducted by the medical chamber and documentation support. General legal requirements of medical practice. These we can just go through it. We don't. I mean, it's according to paragraph 4, 2 from Austrian Medical Act 1998, where they have mentioned the basic things that we all know that about the nationality, residence status of that doctor, legal capacity, good character, German language proficiency, and fitness that we know already. Now, process about recognition of nostrification. That is a recognition of foreign medical degree, that is nostrification. Now, this step is a first indispensable step. That means nobody can skip this step. This step is compulsory, okay, for all the third country medical graduates. Third country are the doctors from outside of European Union. Nostrification, competence and application, university competence. Now, here we have mentioned that nostrification process falls within the exclusive competence of Austria's 3 public medical universities, Medical University of Vienna, Graz, and Innsbruck. So you can choose one of these authorities where you want to apply. Now, basis of how will you choose or why will you choose that, you can see the location, you can see how many hospitals are there, you can see how is the connectivity there. Obviously, Vienna is the capital, so that would be the first preferred choice. But one can look for other opportunities also depending upon, one can go for on a job portals and see how is the job scenario over there. I assume Vienna, since it's a capital, there will be less jobs over there, more competition. Other places, Graz, Innsbruck, smaller places, less known places, so better chances. So that way, I always suggest not to go for the most prominent one because everybody's going there. Go for the less prominent one. Exclusive application rule means you're not allowed to apply to multiple universities. You're allowed to apply to only one university. This application can be done online as well. Required AOK certificate. The AOK certificate, OAK certificate would call it. Now, this is the certificate, as I have mentioned, that you have to first contact the medical chamber, the Erste Kammer. They will give you this. Your application to the medical university must include a certificate from Austrian Medical Chamber confirming that a nostrification procedure is indispensable in your case. That means you cannot just directly contact the universities. First, you have to have this AOK certificate that you will get from the medical council. Document requirements and costs. Compilation of documents for nostrification is complex and requires certified processes. Proper preparation of these materials is essential, as incomplete or improperly certified documents will delay your application significantly. Now, improperly certified means the certification, that is attestation basically. So that you can get from the embassy, the Austrian embassy near you. That is the way to get documents certified. Academic documents, medical diploma, complete transcript of records, including detailed information about lesson type, duration of all courses, thesis, academic work, comprehensive curriculum vitae, the CV. So here what you have to understand is that the things which are in original, that means the transcript, if you have a big curriculum, like 200-page curriculum, you don't have to translate all of that. Documents which are in English, like those documents, the big documents, they can stay in English. They don't have to be translated. But the smaller documents, like 1-2-page documents, they have to be translated. So here, okay, we have legalization and translation. All the documents must be legalized through proper diplomatic channels. This was the embassy I was talking about, and provided with certified translation into German. For Medical University of Vienna specifically, translations must be completed by certified translators in Austria. I would recommend to go through all the translations to be done by certified translators in Austria. So, because every country has their own, the translators are sworn translators by the government, by the courts here. So, in Germany also it's the same, that if you get translation of German, from somebody in India, that will not be valid in Germany. So same in Austria, you need a translator from Austria who would do that for you. Language certificate, C1 level certificate for German language proficiency is mandatory for applying for nostrification at all three universities. This certificate must be valid for maximum of 3 years is the valid time. Now, I have mentioned C1 level here. Okay, B2 level application stage is okay. You can apply at B2 level. But I still say always that go for C1 because of the competition. By the time you will be applying in 6 to 8 months time, then more people will be applying. So obviously, when getting selected by the hospital, C1 becomes your fortile, your benefit. That with that you will get um, yeah, so that will add to your CV. So that's why I recommend apply with C1. And the application fee for nostrification is 150 euros. Yeah. Nostrification procedure and examination, preliminary proceedings. The university conducts a detailed comparison of your medical school's curriculum against the Austrian medical curriculum to determine if your third country study program is fundamentally equivalent in terms of scope, subjects covered, and extent of training. Then comes the random sample test, that is a Stichprobe, that's a mandatory test. After determining basic comparability, participation in random test is obligatory. This standardized test is administered jointly for all universities 3 times annually. So example, September 2025 at University of Graz. The test assesses medical knowledge across 10 clinical disciplines. You must achieve at least 60% in every part to pass. Sufficient medical German knowledge is required to participate. Obviously, that means you have to first take the Fachsprach and then Stichproben. Supplementary exams. Based on the curriculum comparison and random sample test results, the university issues a formal decision detailing any required supplementary exams in specific subjects where your education differs from Austrian standards. This is like deficits in Germany, where they tell you the deficits which has to be completed. Now, the problem with Germany is that they don't tell you or guide you to how you can complete those deficits. They just give you that these are the deficits. Okay. Here, what Austria does is they offer you more exam, like extraordinary study program. You enroll in an extraordinary study program to complete supplementary exams. The tuition fee is 388 euros per semester at present. The deadline to complete these supplementary exams is up to eight semesters. That means in 2 years' time, no, 8 semesters is 4 years' time. So 4 years you will get to complete this. I mean, you don't need 4 years to complete the deficits, but still. Once all the requirements are successfully met, the university grants you the right to use the Austrian degree Dr. Med Univ, confirming equivalence with Austrian medical doctors. The next phase is German language proficiency and licensing. The Austrian Medical Act's requirement for sufficient knowledge of German language is satisfied by successfully passing a specialized language examination unless specific exemption apply. This language requirements goes beyond the German proficiency. It specifically tests your ability to communicate effectively in medical context, ensure patient safety, and professional collaboration with Austria's healthcare system. This exam, if no exemptions apply, which in most cases of non-EU graduates, there is no exception. Exceptions would be somebody who is born in Austria, for example, who has language as their mother tongue, or in the school. Most non-EU graduates don't have that. So we cannot think about exceptions. Exemptions would apply in our case. The language examination must be passed through the Austrian Academy of Physicians. This exam is specifically designed to certify C1 level subject-specific German knowledge in medical context. Prerequisite of this is B2 level, as I have mentioned. Exam certifies you to possess C1 level certificate. So once you pass this, you can call yourself as a C1 certified uh, doctor, like who have C1. But this C1 is medical German C1, that is like Fachsprachprüfung C1. What I have mentioned previously was a general C1, that C1 in all the branches. So exam cost is currently 1138 euros. If you need to retake the exam, the repeat fee would be 570 euros. There is no limit to the number of times you may sit the exam. Okay, so this is a significant piece of information here. The exam has two parts, oral examination part and the written. Oral is around, say, half an hour. This section tests your ability to conduct patient consultations, including taking comprehensive medical histories, explaining diagnosis and treatment plans, communicating effectively with medical colleagues and healthcare staff, and discussing relevant aspects of Austrian health system and medical practice environment. About the written part, this is basically the documentation. This component requires you to compose professional written communication on topics related to interaction with healthcare administration, regulatory authorities, or medical facilities. Your writing must demonstrate appropriate medical terminology, professional tone, and clear communication skills. Now, this is a small way where people who have already started their process in Germany, who are already in Germany, who have taken Fachsprachprüfung in Germany, how they can progress their career. Because we get lots of emails and messages where people say that, okay, we have done Fachsprachprüfung, we are not finding job. Okay, recently I made a video about that, mentioning how they are not the doctors that Germany is looking for, because they say that, okay, Germany has shortage of doctors. Why don't you take us? Like, we are ready to work in Germany. No, it's not, does not have shortage for candidates who are not appropriate. It has shortage for candidates who are who have approbation. There is a shortage. So this is a Umweg, you can call it, diversion, that a significant alternative pathway exists that can potentially streamline your language certification process and reduce both time and financial requirements. This strategic approach leverages mutual recognition agreements between Austria and Germany. Complete German FSP, that is successfully passed there, then you get automatic exemption from the Austrian FSP. So you can apply, but the rest process remains the same. So no Austrian FSP is required. But if somebody is in the beginning and planning, then there is no way, no reason to go through this route. This is for somebody who's already in Germany, has taken FSP, passed FSP, and not coming forwards with the job requirements or not getting date for approbation. So those people can take this route where they can apply to Austria, tell them that your FSP is passed in Germany, and then your step moves directly further. So it shows me that only a few minutes are remaining in our session. Once, if the call stops, then we can regain the same link we can use and we can come back. Okay, and then we will see. I don't think it will last, it will require more than 40 minutes now. And if you have more questions, then we can go about that. And I hope that this document is almost about to be ended. So, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So step 3 and 4, that is registration, training, and employment. Registration with the Austrian Medical Chamber. Once your nostrification process is complete and your medical degree has been officially recognized, you become entitled to register with the Austrian Medical Chamber and commence medical practice in Austria, provided all general legal requirements outlined Chapter 1 are satisfied. This registration is a formal gateway to beginning your medical career in Austria, whether in specialty training or in general practice. So, in short, to register with the medical council, you need nostrification Bescheid that you have received from medical college, like medical university, German language evidence, that is FSP, that you have received from ÖK, and then employment documentation. Now, this is employment documentation is once you have these two, then you will apply for jobs and then you will get the employment. And with that, then you can register with the council. So now these things are not relevant for fresh graduates who don't have post-graduation training or other things with them. This is for prior training periods. So on most candidates, this is not relevant. So we'll skip this part. Now they are asked about partial recognition of foreign medical training, possible. Um, this is again about the Facharzt training. So we'll leave that. We'll go through the structure of postgraduate training in Austria. The Austrian medical training system follows a structured, sequential approach designed to build comprehensive clinical competence. Understanding this pathway is essential for planning your career in Austria. Basic medical training, that is a Basisausbildung. After your registration, like let me read this. So, duration of 9 months. All graduates must first complete basic medical training, which provides foundational clinical skills and expose to medical discipline. This training is required regardless of your specialty choice and must be completed before advancing to specialized training. That means this is 9 months of training after your approbation. So you start there. Then general practice. 33 months, that is following, this is for everyone, okay? But the general practice, following basic training, doctors pursue general practice competence an additional 33 months, that is around 3 years for structured training in general medicine, preparing them for comprehensive primary practice. Now, this is for Facharzt in Allgemein Medicine, that is for general practice. But for somebody who wants to pursue, say, orthopedics or some Facharzt, this thing, non-general, then it's 63 months, okay? So that way, if somebody wants to do Facharzt training in orthopedics, for example, that will be 63 plus 9. So it becomes 72 months. That is 6 years. Doctors pursuing specialty certification complete an additional 63 months of intensive training according to the curriculum based in the chosen medical field. After these 6 years of Facharztausbildung, you have your exam, qualifying exam, and then you receive the title of Facharzt as a specialist. Finding training positions is official journal of Austrian Medical Chamber one can find, or else on finding training positions is online. Like basically you have to write emails to the head of the departments or the job portals like we have Indeed.com or Practices Arts for Germany. There are others for Austria as well. And direct application that I've already said. Successful candidates often combine monitoring official postings with networking and direct outreach to hospitals, which I have just said. This is the essential contact information for authorities. This PDF I will send to you via email so that you can take contact these authorities. This is the Erste where you can ask for your whatever doubts you have, questions you have. If you want to confirm some things, you can contact there. This is a university, each university is their contact details. Language Examination Authority, where people have to take the FSP, that is there. So, and then there's a list of local medical chambers, which is not, useful at this present form, at present, but maybe later on. Okay, so this was about the Facharzt training or medical PG in Austria.